Hi there, I'm Julie Broad of Revenue.com and author of More Than Cash Flow, The Real Risks and Rewards of Profitable Real Estate Investing. Today I've got a tip for you straight from my book, because if you haven't already got a copy, I thought maybe you should know some of the gems that you'll find in this book. One of the tips I talk a lot about is negotiation. I find that there are some myths or misstatements around negotiation. A lot of people think negotiation is about win-win. And there's something funny that happens to people when they're even thinking win-win. All they're really thinking is win. And I find that they get really aggressive on certain things when what's on the table is actually a really good deal for everyone. I like the approach by Keith Cunningham, who is the author of Keys to the Vault. He says, any negotiation is about doing better than your alternatives. So here's 3 of my suggestions that are in the book for doing great negotiations and creating great deals. Number 1 is, first of all, that you want to try and find out how you can create a bigger pie. So price is only one of the things involved, right? There's a lot of things involved in a negotiation, in a deal. Realtors sometimes are guilty of being very price focused. But sometimes there are some things you can do, like terms, a VTB, for example. I am willing to pay more if I can get a VTB, a very good VTB in place. I'm also willing to pay more if I'm able to get something in exchange. So my dad, great example. Mom and dad were buying a new house on the lake, and the sellers had a boat. My mom and dad don't have a boat, or didn't have a boat. And the sellers were sticking to their price. So my dad said, okay, fine. I'll pay you that price, give me your boat. And so he got a boat, which was something he was going to buy anyways. So he made the pie bigger. So what can you do to make the pie bigger? That's my first tip. Second tip is to focus on closing dates as part of your strategy. As a real estate investor, sometimes the seller, they may not tell you out front or up front that the closing date's important to them, but if they're underwater or struggling to make payments, a fast close is going to be beneficial. If they're moving or they're building a new house, a flexible, longer closing date is going to be something that they're going to be willing to sacrifice the price in exchange for. So closing date can be a very important clause, although a lot of people just pull up a calendar and go, that day. So thinking strategically about what closing days make sense for you. As a real estate investor, if you want vacant possession, you want to put the dates in accordingly, or maybe you want to look at some of the work that needs to be done and have time to plan and even have contractors come through, so you might want extra time for that. So think about how you can make a better deal with things like closing date. Finally, other terms of the deal. I mentioned it already in the bigger pie, but knowing what problems need to be solved and how you can solve them with terms and conditions in the deal could be something that works for you. One of the problems that we encountered that created a good deal for us and a good deal for the sellers, an estate sale. A brother, there are 2 elderly ladies who were the sisters of the brother who had passed away. He'd been in that house for almost 40 years and had so much stuff. And they were from out of town. So it was overwhelming for them to have to deal with all of this stuff. So we said, take what you want and leave everything else for us to dispose of. And as a result, we got a much better deal. And it didn't cost us very much money to get rid of a lot of the stuff that was left behind. We had some strategies for dealing with that. So we created a better deal by solving a problem that they had and offering them, terms and conditions accordingly. So I won't get into all the other terms and conditions that you could consider, but start thinking about these things as negotiation strategies. Now those are just a few tips that you'll find on just 2 pages in this 284-page book. So I hope you've already got a copy of More Than Cash Flow, The Real Risks and Rewards of Profitable Real Estate Investing. And if you have and you love the book, please share it with friends and family. Post a review on Amazon. I'll be forever grateful. If you didn't like it, feel free to tell me privately. All right, thank you, and see you again soon.